Morning, everyone. Good to see so many faces. My name is Burhmann Steenkamp. It's fantastic to see a room full today. We know Charlie's in town when the parking is all the way up to the end. But what a wonderful way to spend a Saturday. I'm hoping that you have your notebooks ready and that you're going to take notes. You've already met my better half this morning. Unfortunately, I was not here for her session, but I'm sure she gave you good information. I'm not sure what she said about how we got started in the business, so I'm going to share my story quickly. You can believe my story, okay? But anyway, so yeah, I was very fortunate to grow up in the Neolife business. My mum bought a health shop in 1995, and immediately our philosophy at home changed from pharmaceuticals and going to the doctor to natural treatments. So my mom had the health shop. We immediately started eating better and using the nutritional products from the shop as well. And about 6 months later, somebody came to introduce Neolife to my mom. And they immediately said yes, because my father was also involved. He liked the business concept. He liked the science behind the company. My dad is a scientist and an engineer. So he was really interested, and he was drawn by the amount of science and research and development that Neolife has done over the years. So that's why they said yes to Neolife. I'm very fortunate for that. The scientists say that your body regenerates all the cells, or essentially all the cells in your body, about every 7 years. So I've just ended my 4th cycle, starting my 5th cycle powered by Neolife. And when I talk a little bit about the cells and the nutrition, you will understand what I mean by powered by Neolife. So my wife and I mean, obviously we became 100% products users from day one. I mean, I literally woke up one morning and all the cleanings products were changed and all the supplements were changed to Neolife, and it's been that way ever since. When I moved out of home, there was a brief period where I bought the cleaning products from the shops, because now I'm a big boy, I need to take care of myself, and I just hated it. Honestly, within a couple of days, I was back onto the Neolife cleaning products, and it's been that way pretty much ever since. Now, my wife convinced me to join the business in 2006. Okay? Yeah, 2006. When she moved in with me, she said, no, I can't go home and steal my products from my parents every weekend. I need to start buying my own stuff and take care of her. So we joined the business, and then in about 2008, we decided, okay, my wife wasn't very happy with what she was doing, so we just said, okay, let's take a look at the business and grab this opportunity. And around about 2012, we became really, really serious about the nutritional side and building the business. And that's when we started making this little talk that I'm going to share just a brief part of it with you today, which, as Forrest mentioned, I want to talk about the importance of nutrition. But that's how me and my wife got involved in Neolife, and we are very thankful for that. We see the results in our lives, in our health, and that of our children as well. And me being a teacher, I'm a musician and a teacher by nature. I started teaching music when I was still in high school, so when learning good information, I just naturally want to share it with other people. And my wife and I attended some of these health talks and seminars, and we thought, no, we need to be more serious. There's a big need for this. People out there are suffering, and we have the information, so it's our responsibility to go out and share this with people. So when we started the little talk, I made this little pack. I didn't expect so many people, so I hope in the back you can see. I wasn't really keen on using the projector, sorry for that. But you're welcome to come and chat to me afterwards and have a look at this and duplicate this by yourself. But basically, when we started, I mean, we started these talks in about 2012, and we always opened the meeting by saying by 2020, 3 out of every 4 people will die from chronic disease. And we were wrong. It's 4 out of 4 people. It's like everyone is sick out there. Wherever we go, we just hear people that have chronic diseases and that have sicknesses, and we have the information to share with them once again, and we are very proud to be sharing and being fully affiliated with Neolife. I'm going to touch on that as well briefly. But the importance of nutrition starts with knowing why we are in this situation where so many people are dying from chronic diseases. I mean, past 2020, and we are in a situation much worse than we thought we would be 10 years ago. And looking at my friends that I know use the products, this must be the highest concentration of healthy people in all of Gauteng, if not the whole of South Africa. I know there's a Neolife meeting in Cape Town, so maybe we're second best to them. We know, but yeah, it's very dire, but we have a solution. And like I say, it's our responsibility to share. So please take note. maybe you're getting some information today that can change the life of somebody else. What I want to do is just first briefly touch on why we are in this situation, and then touch on why it's important to use nutrition as your solution. So most of us have seen this healthy food pyramid, where they explain to us basically the way our diets are meant to be. It's supposed to be lots of whole grains mainly whole grains. Exercise is number one, yes, but looking at the diet, mainly whole grains, then lots of fruits and vegetables, a little bit less in protein, and then very little sugars and fats. But we live the other way around, right? We're mainly eating processed grains, okay, lots of sugars and fats, more protein than we should, and very little fruits and vegetables. And this is where we're going to focus on for most of the talk, is about the fruits and veggies and the state that our fruits and veggies are in, and very few whole grain. But before going on to the veggies, let's just focus in on the whole grain. So that's supposed to be the biggest part of our diet, is whole grains, and specifically whole grain, meaning it's the complete seed, not processed, which is what we've been eating now for the last 100 and more years. So looking back at history, this is the first real major event that happened to our food supply more than 100 years ago. And our CEO, Kendra Brasfield, mentioned there was a study done recently where they looked at historical data from, I think it was more than 70 countries for I don't know how many years. But they basically determined in this study that the main culprit for all chronic disease is the lack of whole grain food in our diet. Now, I'm not talking about going to Woolies and buy a fancy looking brown bread with some seeds sprinkled on it. That's not whole grain. You are not going to find whole grain foods in the shops. I'm sorry to say that. Unless you are actively out there finding your own ingredients and making your own food, what you think is whole grain or whole wheat is not whole grain or whole wheat. The seeds are still processed. They still take out the germ from the seeds when harvesting. Why do they do this? We've all seen these massive silos next to the highways, right? So as soon as they harvest the seeds from our staple foods, this is mealies and corn and rice and soy and everything, as soon as they harvest it, they cut out the germ. Because inside the germ is oil. And if they leave the oil there, everything rots and starts to stink and they have to throw it all away. Now that negatively impacts our health. And this has been happening for more than 100 years now. I'm rather going to draw this on here so people in the back can see as well. If you look at our bodies, I just mentioned earlier that we're made up of cells, and those cells need to regenerate. And they do many different functions in our bodies, and they also make up the tissue and everything in our bodies. And if you look at your cell, every single cell has got a little membrane on the outside. Now the job of that membrane is to let nutrients into the cells, to communicate with other cells in the area as well, and then to do its job and create energy or whatever else it needs to do, and then the waste, the byproduct, needs to get out. Same as a car engine. Fuel in, engine works, exhausts out, right? What happens is that, or what's really important for everyone to understand here today, especially the guests that haven't seen this before, this is the most fundamental part of nutrition, is where does the food end up at the end of the day? After you've eaten, you digest, you assimilate into the body, and then it needs to get into the cells. That's where the nutrition needs to end up. Now those cell walls are made up from the oils that have been taken out of our diet. Okay? Make sense? So what's happening? People are always talking about being tired, being stressed, headaches, fatigue. Lack of energy is one of the most common things that people complain about. So what happens if that membrane is not getting the oils from our food? It becomes hard. So nutrition can't get into the cell, and the waste and toxins inside the cell can't get out. Okay? And that's the number one reason why people are feeling so tired today. So thanks to NeoLife, we have this product available called TreeNN, which is made from the oils that is lacking in our diet. So for guests that are brand new, you're going to learn a lot more about the company today. I'm not going to spend time on the company, but just to know that we are the best, we are the leaders in the nutritional industry. a lot of the things that you hear about today on the markets is things that Neolife created. And the technologies that we created in order to make these products are what other companies are using to make their products to compete with us. They're never going to get close to us. We've got decades more research and science than them. But a wonderful product called 3NN is going to give you the 3 essential oils that you need for your cell membranes to function properly. Our best competitors can only manage to get 2 out of the 3 oils. The third oil that they can't get into the product is the most important one that you need for things like hormonal balance and thyroid problems. And that's again one of the leading contributors to some of the chronic diseases that are hormonally related. Things like prostate cancer, breast cancer, ovary cancer. The things that people are most scared of, the most aggressive types of cancer. And these things can be avoided with a healthy lifestyle and a good diet. But, as I mentioned in here, you're not going to find it in most shops, right? So you need to supplement with Neolife and look for good quality food. So many people will come and say, but I do eat healthy. Why do I still have problems? I eat a lot of fruits and vegetables. Why do I still have problems? The reason for that is simply the farming practices that has been happening over the last 50, 60, 70 or more years. Okay? So since the end of the Second World War, the companies that produced the chemicals for the bombs then started selling those chemicals to the farmers to use as fertilizer. All right? So they use the most commonly used fertilizer only uses 3 types of minerals. Your body needs a mixture of about 60 different minerals, trace minerals, vitamins, and minerals. Now, our food is grown using only the 3 minerals that comes in the fertilizer that the farmers use on the soil. Okay? The soil is completely depleted of nutrients because the farmers keep using the same land over and over. Am I right? So they use the same land, the nutrients is not growing the plants, they have to put fertilizer on top of the plants, it's chemical, it damages our bodies, and it doesn't give us the correct things that we need. In fact, there was a study done, I think this was done in about 1999, where they tested about 20,000 people and looked at their diet and their nutrient content intake. And from this study, not even 10 people got the daily recommended allowance for the most basic nutrition or the most basic vitamins and minerals that we need in our bodies. Okay? I've got bad news for you. Since 1999, it's not gotten any better. Okay? In fact, scientists are now reckoning that the abundance of CO2 in the atmosphere is only compounding to the problem. Okay? Because there's so much more carbon dioxide in the atmosphere and global warming is happening. Plants are absorbing this quicker and producing more oxygen quicker, and they are growing quicker than they're supposed to, so they have less time to absorb nutrition from the soil. Okay? So scientists reckon over the last 3 or 4 decades, this has contributed to another 6 to 8% decrease in our nutritional content. On top of that, if you take this study again in 1999, in that study they concluded that if you take a bowl of spinach from the 1940s, you would have to eat 75 bowls of spinach to get the same amount of nutrition. Okay? I imagine having to eat 70 times the food that you are currently eating. You're never going to win. Okay? So even if you do eat healthy, and even if you do buy organic, it's good, but it's not going to be enough. You need to supplement. You need to use things that are going to give you, your body, the tools that you're not getting from the food. And in doing so, you will then be able to either slow down what you have or completely reverse the chronic disease that you might have. And there's so many things, we can't spend time on that, but there's so many things that we have available at Neolife. I mean, we have over 100 different products. And it's just amazing to see the difference that we see happen in people's lives. Now, just the last thing I want to touch on quickly, I'm not sure, during my wife's talk, I know she spoke about the quality of the cleaning products from Neolife. What I just wanted to touch on as well, I can't find the page now, sorry. What I just want to mention as well is that that's another very massive part that affects our overall well-being, is the chemicals that we are surrounded with on a day-to-day basis. Okay? So my wife demonstrated to you our wonderful range of cleaning products that are organic, biodegradable, and safe to use around the house. Okay? That's so important. There was a study done where they tested the chemical exposure to families over a period of 20 years, and they concluded from the study that if you clean your house with the conventional products, it's equivalent to smoking 1 packet of cigarettes per day. Okay? So who here has children? No one? Okay, good. I'm hoping so. Would you be happy if your child smokes a pack of cigarettes a day? Of course not. Now, I'm not saying you are a bad parent by cleaning your product, your home with the conventional products. You have not heard this information yet, but it is now your responsibility to go and change your habits to avoid that from happening, because it is happening, whether you like it or not. Those products have been proven over and over to be highly toxic and to be one of the leading contributors to cancers and some of the more serious chronic diseases. Think about it. How many people do you know who are domestic workers that are suffering from acne and skin problems and rashes and asthma and allergies? My wife and I, when we just started the business, we lost one of our downlines from that. She was a domestic worker, and she passed away from cancer in the throat, from breathing in the cleaning chemicals the whole day, every day. So it's more than just taking supplements. It's more than just changing your diet and your lifestyle. It involves a complete makeover of your cleaning products, the chemicals that you surround yourself with, and then in addition to that, taking good quality supplements. Now, there's different kinds of supplements available on the market. We've got, when we go to the shops, during COVID, my wife and I were laughing at our friends because all of a sudden everyone is now healthy and buying, and they run to the shop and they just see this massive long aisle of vitamins, and they don't know where to start or where to end. And they ask the people working there, they've got no clue what is going on there. Okay? So most people will run to the shops and expect them to then find something that they can use that is safe. And unfortunately, this is not the case. Having grown up in the industry as well, my mom had access to all the products on the market, and she would analyze them and talk to them and find out where they're made from or what they're made from and where it's sourced and everything. And we can confidently say that about 99% of all the products in the shops are either made from turpentine, petrol, rocks, or pieces of metal. It's not meant for human consumption. I'm sorry to say that. If you are currently buying from the shops, you are buying things that are causing more damage than it's doing good. I can promise you that. So what do you want to find? Sorry, just to backtrack a little. I was saying there's different kinds of supplements available. So that's what people think is organic. All right? So organic doesn't necessarily mean it's safe, because a piece of rock is organic, but it doesn't contain minerals in a form that your body can use. Okay? A lot of people are selling pond slime as an immune booster. Okay, you know the gooey stuff you get on lakes and rivers on the edges? Okay, contains a lot of antioxidants, but not in a form that I would recommend you drink. Or tree bark. Tree bark contains a lot of vitamin C, but again, it's not in a form that you can take. So don't be fooled by something that says it's natural. Okay, you need to have science and research behind the product. You need to know where it's made, what it's sourced from, and how it's put together. And thankfully with Neolife, we've got, like I said, the leading company in the industry. Our research is available to everyone to see, and it's peer-reviewed as well in the biggest scientific journals around the world. So you will always be safe with Neolife. And that's the supplement that I would recommend you always look for. It's whole food supplementation. All right? That's the difference. You get organic, you get the synthetics, and then you get what we have at Neolife have pioneered over the last 6-7 decades, which is whole food nutrition. That is the key word that you need. And then look at the company, look at the history. What have they done that has improved their technology? With Neolife, it's simply amazing. I can go on for hours and hours about what our company has achieved. And it's so fascinating for me as personally to learn all of this. But I just want everyone to know that you have that backing with Neolife. Whenever you are out there talking to people, do not be scared of telling them that we have the best. Okay? Recommend what is in the catalog. Whatever it says in the catalog, we can back up with science. You must walk around with pride in your heart knowing that we are giving people the best solution And it's a solution that can change their lives and their friends and their families. So please, I implore everyone, we need to take supplements. You are not going to manage with what is in the shops. We've discussed that. You need to clean your environment that you live in. My wife has discussed that with you as well today. And finally, we need to share. People out there are suffering. We have the solution. Don't keep it to yourself. Okay? So I thank you for your time. Thanks for listening. And please enjoy the rest of the day. Thanks.